Hello, everyone, and welcome to the IBU podcast. My guest today is Professor Francisco Javier Castellano Pulido. Welcome.
Thank you.
I will share a couple of words about you. Professor Pulido is a professor at the School of Architecture at the University of Malaga, Spain, co-founder of Quack Arquitectura, professional studio in Granada. Also, your professional work has been published in numerous national and international architectural magazines, awarded and exhibited in national and international events in Venice Biennale 3 times, then in Barcelona, Leeuwarden, Rotterdam, Wien, Mexico, Germany, London, and Shanghai. Recently, in 2016, your office has received the Design Vanguard Award, being selected by the American magazine Architectural Review in New York as one of the 10 emerging firms of the year. On behalf of Malaga University, Professor Castellano is leading a team of professors and researchers from the Higher Technical School of Architecture and the School of Industrial Engineering of the University of Malaga, participate in European, of course, project ERASMUS+, TACEESM. I'm going to keep saying TACEESM. That's like natural for me. How do you pronounce it?
What is the High Technical School of Architecture?
Yeah, this transforming architectural and civil engineering education.
We say TACEESM.
TACEESM? Okay, it's similar to mine. So what is the role of the University of Malaga in this project?
We was involved from the beginning, like a European country, and with a lot of enthusiasm and supporting this initiative. And we are acting, organizing events, meetings, giving our infrastructure, and to help as much we can staff. And also we are introducing some new elements like a summer school that we need to put in practice next July with involving students and teachers, so that we can put in practice some of the topics of a sustainable process in the teaching. And we are also responsible of one of the working package linked to the enterprise and university and the firms and university, and we are very happy about this participation.
In the recent years, the world has changed significantly, and social, political, economic, cultural changes presented new possibilities in all aspects of living and in education, of course, as well. Do you think that there is a need to change the model of architectural education? And does TACEESM project respond to these needs in the right way?
Yes, I think it's necessary to change all knowledge of areas of knowledge, and the teaching have to be changed completely, because we are accustomed of taking these issues not very in the first plane. And now it happens that in the historical in the history along different decades, we can see these topics emerge with crisis, after crisis.
Yeah.
But now we don't have election to go back. So we need to take into account that all kind of new scientific progress have to take into account the sustainability of the new works.
Yeah, so do you think that this project responds to these needs in the right way?
I think this is a modest, this is a little help, but I think it's important to try to introduce like an experimental issues, this kind of international experience with the students and staffs, and we can interchange a lot of knowledge that sometimes they are separate, but it's difficult to get together in the same room, to share them.
Yes, and to collaborate, to exchange opinions and everything. I'm sure that will help, and that will be a major thing in this architectural change of education. What is, in your opinion, the innovative component of this project?
I think the main important thing is the transdisciplinary or interdisciplinary dimension and the transnational dimension of the experience. Because we have in some previous experience with researchers and architects, professionals in this topic in Malaga at the European dimension scale. But it's the first time that we are getting involved with students and staffs, teachers, no, at the same experience, and we think this is the main innovative direction of the project, and I think it's the beginning of the future action that can help this project to grow.
Talking about the future, what is, in your opinion, sustainable model of architecture and education for the future?
This is a very complicated question because I think now we have to help to create a new awareness of consciousness of the culture sustainability of all actions. At the same time, we are improving the energy, the environmental issues. So I think the challenge is to get in the same plane, or to put in the same plane, the new technologies, advances in this, the evaluation of our works and the life cycle and every consequence of we are transforming, at the same plane of the knowledge of the past times, of the history, because we have a lot of experience that sometimes are forgotten with strategies that are very, very interesting to get again and to introduce in the dynamics of the present and superpose to the new technologies.
Yes, sustainability has been the it word for quite some time in all professional fields. This is your area of research interests as well. How do you define sustainability in architecture?
The sustainability means what the word is saying. I like to introduce the terms in sustainability in time, no? Because the problem, I think the problem is to understand the sustainability term as only some package of elements that can be even evaluation of different elements that can be included in the process of designing. And I think introducing the long term, the possibility of thinking how works can last, like the works that we evaluate from the past that have been changing the use a long time, and they are in keeping their essence. And I wonder if we will be able to think, I like in my classes to explain these kind of elements that help some work to last for centuries.
For centuries, yeah.
And because you make projects that very, very well evaluated right now in environmental and energy, whatever, but in 10 years or 5 years, they're going to be refurbished and transformed again. This is not as sustainable. So this is a culture sustainability that I want to introduce in my classes, because I think this is a pending task for our work. It's not easy to teach, but I think it's very important.
Yes, I agree. Most professionals in the field of architecture focus on issues of technology and energy performance. Could you tell us a little bit more about sustainability from this cultural point of view you mentioned?
Yes, the thing is, I like to remind some words of Patrick Hedges from 1 century ago, no? When he was explaining the attitude for an urban planner or architect at the end, but he was urban planner and biologist. That the attitude of the urban planner have to be like the farmer, because he needs to know very well the existing fields and the history, the past, to get prepared for the next season. So this is very, very, I think 1 century ago, this word had to be very, very easily implemented today. And when Leverett Midge teach to architects, he was a landscape architect, teach to architects how to integrate or the interchange between the courtyard, the garden, and the house. And these relationships are necessary to take in account for new actions. we cannot separate artificial works from natural. We have to be always integrated in every work, new work. So I think the culture sustainability for us is not only a way of social culture of the people, how they integrate. I think the identity, the need to people to get together and need one identification element that help them to create a city, the idea of the city, like Joseph Rickberg in his book. This kind of action, artistic, anthropologist actions, can help the city and the architecture to last for years, not only physical elements. And this is very interesting, humanistic point, holistic point of view of the sustainability.
You are one of the few people who are focusing on this cultural sustainability. Why is this, let's say, neglected part of architecture?
I think because it is difficult to parameterize, it's difficult to make an Excel sheet, you know. It's difficult to teach because you need to introduce a holistic point of view. And in the university, we have the challenge to try to interact or to bring together all the different subjects and from the art and the technology all together. Because we sometimes separate, split the knowledge of engineering, civil, architecture, art, design, anthropology. I think we need a new culture of transformation that John Collins said, the culture of transformation. This is the point, which is with the new culture of transformation that we can join all these kind of areas of knowledge together to get something stay for a long time.
Yeah, it makes sense. How would you describe the attitudes and trends of contemporary architecture in reference to cultural and heritage sensitivity?
I think architecture is important in this way because we have from the career, you know, we learn a lot of history. I love the construction structures. And I think it's, the role of architecture in this topic is try to be as a main part of the teams, because city cannot be assumed added buildings and public space, facilities and infrastructure also. Cities are more complex because people are living there and they create cities, not only the objects, no? So I think the main task of the urban planner and architecture engineer is help learn to work together in one direction, and it's not easy. It's not easy to working together different disciplines, but this is the main task.
Okay, we're gonna switch back to the project. Within this project, your university is hosting, as you said, this summer school. Can you tell us more about it? And is the summer school going to be focused on topics of cultural sustainability as well?
Yes, we are happy about hosting this activity, summer school in July. This is a good opportunity to put in practice some of the concepts that we are introducing and in the new curriculum of the subjects with the lectures and also working. And we selected an area close to the port of the city of Malaga that have to be transformed with public space, infrastructure, and we introduce industrial heritage also and some elements that help the city to be connected from the city center to the sea. Because it happens something that they in the municipalities make competitions, but they are separate. Each part of the city is one competition, completely separate. So at the end, the city is like a collage of different competitions. Okay. I think this summer school could be a little critic about this and try to think in a continuous way and interchange between them.
Yeah, you mentioned so many separations in everything. We all need to connect more.
Sure.
This was your first visit to Sarajevo. I'm very interested in your opinion and how did you spend your time here? Did you love it?
I think it's very interesting in Sarajevo. And As Lorenzo said, Sarajevo is special within a lot of cities in the same city. And in Granada, in the Seville, Granada, Malaga, Seville, Andalusian region is similar to the European countries that have been built superposed, no, one to the other. And I think this is interesting because if you find different cities close one for together, from the Austro-Hungarian, Ottomanian, modern socialist buildings and cities, I think is interesting because the main challenge is to trying to find some connections between them or reinforce these connections with new projects, and to see how is the evolution of each one of these cities with his own character, introducing new elements. And I think I like the way that Sarajevo is treating trying to treat with the siege, with the consequence of the war, with the footprints of every dimension. Yeah. And I think when I see some buildings here that the vegetation, plants are growing, that remind me the old travels with a Grand Tour when they was looking for these kind of buildings from the old Rome, no? The ancient Rome. And I think this is an opportunity, this kind of traumatic event to regenerate the city and introducing new elements of connections with nature, with transformation in the future, and try to make one big project around these elements. I think it's interesting. No? I like to research, to make some kind of research about this.
Yeah, I love it. I love what you said about Sarajevo, and I love the way you think about it. And this was very interesting podcast for me. I've learned a lot. Thank you. And I'm getting more and more interested in architecture.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
It's a pleasure.